You're done.
I dressed up.
Smell better?
No shower tonight yet, but I'm working on it. My name's Dave LaFave. I'm the Incident Commander with Washington Interagency Incident Management Team number 3. Well, that's a long name, and I didn't talk much about that the other night, but it is important to know a lot of these teams are thought of as DNR fire teams. That's not necessarily true. We are, in the state of Washington, we have 5 teams like this team, and we are interagency teams. And by that I mean, as I stated earlier, I am a fire chief of a local fire district in Cowlitz County, Washington, around the city of Kelso. And we have on our team people from the Washington DNR, people from the U.S. Forest Service, we have U.S. Fish and Wildlife, we have Park Service, U.S. Park Service, and we also have a full-time police officer who is on our team who functions. You wouldn't know he was a police officer. He's out on the fire line, dressed like this, doing the same things everybody else is doing. And that is an advantage in the state of Washington. From a national program standpoint, we're one of the only states out of 50 that have a program that is fully integrated to that degree. And it gives us a lot of diversity when we come into a community, and it gives us a lot of technical expertise in a lot of different areas. So we leverage that. It's an advantage, and nationally the program is a very good program. We're one of 34 Type 2 teams nationally, and then there are 16 Type 1 teams nationally that deal with events that, well, actually typically this incident would potentially go Type 1, but in the state of Washington, our team is considered a Type 1 incident management team. So from a complexity standpoint, we would deal with these incidents of what are considered the highest complexity level. So that's a little bit of background and history. It'd probably be better for you all if I talked about the fire. I'm guessing. So it's all good. It's all good news. We're at 80% containment. Now, not to go into a long explanation of that, the more important thing for you to know is that we have control lines around the entire perimeter. Containment for us, full containment, is when we achieve our standard, which is 200 feet from the fire edge, mopped in 100% around the entire perimeter of the fire. Additionally, 200 feet mopped up 100% around the perimeter of every structure within the fire area. And that's a lot of work, but we're just about there. And in fact, we actually have at least 100 feet around the entire perimeter and every structure, and in most cases we've exceeded the 200-foot standard. And so that's good news. So our goal is to exceed what was expected of us, so that when we turn it back to the local agencies, it takes minimal work for them. While we have the resources, we want to get as much done as we possibly can. In fact, to that extent, part of our plan is to leave no or little evidence that we were in your community. So to that end, our logistics section chief, who is standing over here, Dennis Mason, we're going to use some of the resources tomorrow to rehab the fairgrounds so that anything that we've done that might have made an impact on your fairgrounds is minimized, and hopefully there's no sign that we were here when we were gone, with one exception. You all having the ability to be in your homes and feel like it's safe to be there. That would be the only footprint that we want to leave when we're done. So I think we're very, very close. I hope we are. You're certainly the judge of that better than I am. So with that, as I said, we have good solid control lines around the entire fire area. We have, and when I say that 100%, the way we know is we use technology, thermal imaging. And so our thermal imaging crews are out every night going around the entire perimeter of this fire and the homes, checking with thermal imaging, looking for hidden heat that we can't see. And when they find it, they flag it, and the crews go out and dig it out and open it up and cool it down. So when we're done, when we say it's controlled, we will have gone one operational period without being able to identify one single source of heat within that containment area. That's pretty good. That's a lot of work. We got a lot of tired people. That's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of miles, and it's not just like setting out to walk 10 miles on a track at the high school. They follow the terrain exactly, and they go everywhere that the firefighters are working. We've had some experiences with wildlife out there. You folks live here, so you probably know what's out there. We do too. That's okay. We like wildlife, and that's all good. So, with that said, our plan is we're working a full shift tonight. We'll continue with that. We'll work a full shift tomorrow. We're demobilizing a lot of resources because, frankly, what happens is we're getting down to a point where there's almost too many resources. We get too many people working in smaller areas as we narrow down where we find places to work. So we're demobilizing down, and at 0600 Thursday morning, I don't know what the date is Thursday. Someone would have the 15th. We will transition from our operation and our management team to a local Type 3 incident management team, and we will leave them basically about 3 20-person crews and 3 strike teams of engines and some overhead and supervision to continue with that process until they feel confident that it's all done in what we call patrol status. So that's our goal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for those of you who were at the first community meeting, that's almost exactly how I said it would probably progress and play out. So we're pretty close. We're pretty darn close. And I would like to say thank you, because I've been in a lot of communities all over the country dealing with stuff like this. But I have yet to find one that is as caring and giving and supportive as this one. And that is the truth. And I have made friends here. We all have. And in fact, Pat and I found out that he grew up in Castle Rock, Washington. And we have decided that at some point we both ride motorcycles, that we need to, either I need to ride over here or he needs to ride over there, and we thought it would be much better if we had a chance to go ride those motorcycles and not think about these kinds of things and just get away from it. And certainly all of you folks that I've seen every night at the shelter and have helped us, it's been excellent. So with that, are there any questions for me?
Can we unpack our cars?
We are, Pat's going to talk about that.
Okay.
We are, as you know, we're evaluating. Today we opened it up for people to get all of their animals back home. We're looking right now and assessing that, and Pat will talk about it, but I think we're ramping down at a real good pace and getting people back to normal as much as we possibly can. I guess the last thing I want to tell you, though, is you will see smoke in this fire area. Okay? So, there's a point where if there's heat, for instance, there's commercial timberland up here in a tree farm, and if there's heat interior in that's beyond that standard, it would be well beyond it. Like, let's say it's 800 feet from the control line, that's not an issue. The best thing that it can do is burn itself out. And when the snow falls and the rains come, that'll all be taken care of. What we call a season-ending event. But I can assure you that the work that's being done, the standards that are set, And the progress we've made will take care of providing a good, secure perimeter and containment and control on this fire. Anything else?
Yeah, I got a personal question. What's your time frame on that shower tonight?
Guess it'll depend on how many questions there are. I have at least one more meeting.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You already cost him 3 minutes.
Do we have another meeting planned for tomorrow at this point, you think?
We don't.
We'll go to the Red Cross.
But I will walk over to the shelter like I normally do at 1800 hours, and if there's anything different, I'll be able to at least provide where we're at with containment, but that'll also come out in the updates and the press release.
We can call there for updates then.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. Anything else?
We were to send thank you letters, but we're just
Are
sending.
all the residents accounted for, and are all the firemen safe? No injuries?
Well, we've had injuries, but no serious injuries. We had at least one issue that I think I mentioned at the shelter where we had a young man whose mother and sister were seriously injured in a bad car accident. So we had to do an emergency demobilization in the middle of the night. And with the combined effort, the Washington State Patrol did what they call a trooper relay. And they had him with his family in the shortest amount of time possible. And that was a great effort on their part. And they did not hesitate one bit to do it. So it was a great team effort. Other than that, separated shoulder, stepped on a nail, stung by bees, those kinds of things. And one fractured wrist. So as far as the residents go, to our knowledge, everybody is accounted for. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else? Right on. Good.